I'm here today talking about different site preparation methods and more specifically mounding methods. We've had a long-term experiments about those from 2 sites, a little bit over 10-year experiments about 11 and 13-year-old stats. So it's more traditional silviculture this time. And there's been some debate whether we should use inversion or inverting or spot mounding in different kind of for specifically in spruce and maybe in pine planting and birch planting. So we had a comparison of 3 different mounding methods: inversion or spot mounding, which is, I think, the most traditional spotting method and the typical method used at least in Finland. And then inversion, which is like spot mounding, but the mound will be turned upside down at its location. And then ditch mounding will do small ditches and then take the soil from those ditches and make a mound next to the ditches. And then we had untreated control and also a herbicide control. So we had 2 different kind of locations or terrains, and this is quite important how we comprehend the results because they are different from these sites. We had Pieksämäki site, 11 years old, and both of these were fine textured soils, and this Pieksämäki was flat and damp, like flat terrain, and this Suonenjoki site, it was in a southwest slope, so it's quite optimal planting spot. From here you can see from the map the same situation. They are quite a different sites according to the map also. The experiment was basically a typical split plot experiment with the site preparation treatment as the main plots, and then there was this ground vegetation control as split plot treatment. And then in addition to mounding treatment in Pieksämäki, there was also a herbicide treatment with glyphosate, and it was done in the middle of the July. The seedlings were covered with bucket, but I think there was some contamination taken by the seedlings. We didn't study the mortality. It was done before when the stands were small, and the main difference was there that the herbicide and untreated stands do quite much damage at the early years. But the mounding methods in these, the mortality was quite evenly distributed. Our main task in this study was to study the height growth of the spruce saplings. And in the good side, in southwest slope, we actually didn't find difference when there was done when the vegetation management or weeding was done. Then there wasn't statistically significant differences. But when no vegetation was done, vegetation control was done, actually ditch mounding showed statistically more higher growths. But then on the, I have here the annual growths also, which are showing the same thing, that only in the very first years there was some statistical differences, but when the stand grew older, the annual growths were basically the same. Then we moved to the flat Pieksämäki side, flat and damp side, and now you can see that the results are totally different from the previous side, and the mechanical site preparation, all the mounding methods have a quite different growth curves there. And more specifically, you can see that ditch mounding and spot mounding are better methods than inversion or herbicide or untreated management. And you can also see that vegetation control quite flattens the difference between the soil preparation methods. And from annual growth, you can see that the growth difference actually remains at the end of our research in over 10 years old stands. And I had one more thing here, besides the growth of the spruce saplings, we also measured how many natural trees there were. And actually it was a bit surprised that we found that in Pieksämäki, in that flat and damp soil, the weeding control, vegetation control actually affected quite much on how much there was natural trees growing at the stage of precommercial thinning. And it was statistically highly significant result. I have my conclusions in here, but maybe I'll just leave them there. You can read them, and if you have questions, we can continue with them. Thank you.